Everybody, how you doing? Sean from Bike Tailor here. Today I just thought I'd show you a little bit of what I go through with somebody that's bought a brand new bike. So this one's, I'll turn the camera around and let's look at it. So this customer bought a brand new Canyon Aeroad. It's an awesome bike. This one's a 2XL, it's a big bike. I'll show you a nice picture of it later, not in the stand, but most things are pretty good out of the box. They do a pretty good job generally, but things like the tuning and that, it might not be perfect. Potentially things can get knocked around in shipping. So what I've done so far on this bike, there was quite a bit of ticking noise, and the customer thought it was coming from the front derailleur rubbing, but it was actually just the rear derailleur was just not tuned right, so needed to just add quite a bit of cable tension there, so that it was just sitting in the correct spot without making noise. So we just added a few turns and that's looking a lot better. The B tension was a little bit out as well. So B tension is, you guys might all know about the screws in the back. So you got your two limit screws on this derailleur here and here. It's a bit hard to see with the light. And then this other one on this one is called the B tension. And what that does is as you screw it in, it moves the whole derailleur back. Or if you screw it the other way, it moves it forward. So you always generally want as much chain wrap as possible. So you're going to adjust the B tension to wrap as much as you can without it being so much that then as you shift into these bigger cogs, you get interference with the jockey wheel and the cogs. So you've got to adjust it enough that it can clear those cogs. Different manufacturers will tell you what those distances are and all of that, but that's the general gist of that. So this one was just adjusted too far, which can also then cause worse shifting. So I've adjusted that to get a little bit more wrap, and the shifting is more crisp now as well because of that. In terms of the front derailleur, with Shimano's this version of the 11-speed that they had, they put this cable attention adjust screw on, which is awesome, because instead of having a usually back before that, you used to put a little barrel adjuster in the cable here so you could make small tweaks to the derailleur's tension. But with this version, it's just right here. And the way to know that you're right in the ballpark for the right tension is you shift into the big ring. I'm sure a lot of you know with Shimano, there's actually 4 positions with the front derailleur, so 2 in each of the rings. So you do your first major shift, which shifts it into the most outboard position. Then you give a little ghost click on the shifter on that side, just a little click. It pops it just back so that when you're in the highest, the bigger cogs on the back, the derailleur just pops a little bit more inboard. And then to check your cable tension, if you look now, let's see if I can do this so that you can see. Sorry about the banging. There's that little tick mark there. And if you see on the plate there, you want that tick mark and that to line up when you're in the inboard position of the big ring, if that makes sense. So the way to do that is you shift into the big ring, ghost shift down, and then you screw this in or out to line up that tick mark on the thing, whatever it is, the plate there. That gets you right in the ballpark, and then you got to still do your adjustments and check everything else. So I've checked that the derailleur was aligned, all of that's good. Your stabilizing bolt, which goes onto the plate over there, which is adjusted through here. Everything's looking good there. Adjusted that, the cable tension, that's all good. Tuned the rear, checked the B, checked the limits are working, so that's all good. I need to now put the bike on the ground, check that the headset is adjusted correctly. The front is rubbing a little bit, so we'll just check that the caliper is centered properly on the rotor there. But that's it, pretty short video today. Yeah, just a short one, just to show you a couple of things I'm looking at when a new bike like that comes in. The other things I'll check really briefly. I'll just check and make sure that there's no play on the in the cranks. Just check that with the Shimano that the pinch bolts are tightened correctly. We've checked that the tires are installed properly, so sometimes it doesn't bead and you can get a bit of a wobble in the tire. That's all looking good. And then the last thing he wants, the saddle is pointing up, so I'm gonna have to pull that out. They can be quite hard to adjust once they've been tightened in, so we'll probably have to knock out the clamps and reposition them and tighten it all up and nice and flat for him. So yeah, so that's just a general little look over this one. I'll pull the bike out and just show you what it looks like, just because it's a pretty looking bike. And there she is. She's a big bike, but yeah, actually in this with this model, it actually seems to look pretty good. It's pretty well balanced. I love the color scheme, and I hope this customer is going to be happy. We actually landed up waxing the chain as well for him. So yeah, all in all, just a few tweaks here and there. Bike's looking good.